The Brazilian Grand Prix has now turned out to be the worst showing by Mercedes over the past decade, and it seems like the bad news for Mercedes doesn't stop there. Next race on this year's calendar is at Las Vegas, an inaugural event for this season. Many have dubbed the Las Vegas Strip to be Monza 2.0, which means that track will suit the Ferrari more than it will the Mercedes machinery, putting the team's current P2 position in the Constructors' Championship at jeopardy. If that is the case, what repercussions will Mercedes have to face for the rest of the season and for 2024? At this point of time, it's safe to assume that Mercedes have a lot on their hands, and in their minds as well. Not only do they have to deal with the loss of Mike Elliott within their technical team, but the Brazil race has prompted the team to also make major changes to next year's W15's core concept. The team has now come to the consensus that the in-season development the team has done is not even close to good enough if they are hoping to challenge Red Bull next season. We have 2 more races to go in the 2023 season, the latest coming up this week at Las Vegas. The night race at Vegas is going to be quite the challenge for the Silver Arrows, considering the circuit's conditions, demands, and downforce requirements. The one thing that will be very challenging for Mercedes at Vegas would be its lack of high-end top speed, which is a trait within the car the team is itching to solve with the 2024 car. This has been a huge problem for them at previous low downforce tracks like Spa and Monza, and according to Hamilton, the lack of top speed was a big negative at Interlagos as well. And with the Las Vegas race nicknamed Monza 2.0, every team will have to adapt to a low downforce setup, which has not favored Mercedes this season, and will definitely hurt their chances of keeping Ferrari at bay in the constructors' standings. Topping that off, the tarmac for the Vegas race is brand spanking new. With no support races around to lay some rubber on the tarmac, it means that drivers will have a hard time managing their tires, as the tire degradation will be significantly higher. Tire degradation was a massive issue for Mercedes around Interlagos, as both drivers suffered from high tire wear. Hamilton went as far to blame the car for eating the tires so quickly that he felt like driving on ice for most parts of the sprint and Grand Prix. This is a huge setback for Mercedes, as they did see some progress at Austin and Mexico, thanks to the latest floor upgrade. Even though Hamilton was disqualified from the United States Grand Prix for excessive plank wear, the engineers back at Brackley were very positive about the new floor, and were certain about the fact that the new floor had nothing to do with the plank wear. It was mostly the setup to blame. And we do agree on that fact, because if the floor was the factor behind Hamilton's disqualification, that should have happened as Mexico as well, but it did not. The fact that the W14 running low to the ground was only able to be at least close to the Red Bull goes on to show that this ride height might be the only way for Mercedes to be competitive moving forwards. But they might be having to face the same problems they faced at Austin if they chose to explore this same setup option. It was confirmed by Toto Wolff himself, as he mentioned that the W14 was running a bit higher than optimal at Brazil to avoid an Austin repeat at Interlagos. We all saw how that worked for Mercedes at Brazil, didn't we? So they now have to play that same game again at Las Vegas to figure out the perfect ride height to run at the Vegas Strip. Considering the low downforce nature of the circuit, the lower the team runs the car, the better performance and efficiency the team can achieve. Toto Wolff and Lewis Hamilton came out hard after the Brazilian GP, naming the W14 a car which does not deserve a race win. Both made this comment at a track where they made a 1-2 finish just 12 months ago. Not only did Hamilton and Russell struggle for raw pace at Interlagos, they were overtaken on track by the likes Stroll and Perez. Just more salt to the wound is the fact that Russell did not even get a chance to make it to the checkered flag due to the oil temperatures of his engine rising beyond capable, forcing him to retire from the Grand Prix. That just made the Brazilian GP a race to forget for Mercedes, and sadly, the same might just happen at Las Vegas as well. The only thing positive for Mercedes about racing at Las Vegas is that fact that this is a debut race, so every team and driver are walking into the unknown. Even so, the statements made by Wolff are really upsetting, as he went on to say. inexcusable performance. There's even no words for that. The car finished second last week and the week before, and whatever we did to it was horrible. Lewis survived out there, but George, I can only feel for the two driving such a miserable thing. It shows how difficult the car is. It's on a knife's edge. You've got to develop that better for next year, because it can't be that within 7 days, you're finishing on the podium solid with one of the two quickest cars, and then you're nowhere and finishing 8th. The inconsistency of the W14 is far worse than the team had anticipated early on, proved by the Brazil performance. Top speed comparisons are of the charts, as Mercedes are miles slower than their rivals. Hamilton even put a number on that performance, quoting the W14 to be the 7th fastest out of all 10 competitors. While Wolff revealed that his engineers back at Brackley have been able to uncover setup problems correlating with the performance woes at Brazil, that is not the standard for a team that has won 8 straight constructors titles. And at Las Vegas yet again, Mercedes will face lots of challenges, especially setting up the car for the low downforce requirement. Yes, they do have 3 practice sessions to set up the car properly, but that does not mean that Mercedes will be able to solve the W14's problems for Vegas just within a couple of weeks. Wolff addressed this sector of concerns, mentioning that his team is essentially starting from scratch for the W15, creating a new core concept for 2024 essentially. Fundamentally, we need a different car next year, and Sunday proved that is the right thing to do. There is something fundamentally wrong mechanically. It feels horrible for the whole team. It's not a rear wing, and it's not the car being slightly too high, because we are talking a millimeter or two. That provides performance, but it's not the explanation for a total off weekend. The car is so unpredictable that it can swing either side, and we have just put plasters on it. We need to push for the last 2 races and recover. I think that is the most important thing. And see what we can do in Las Vegas, a totally different track, and Abu Dhabi. But the performance today in Brazil was... I'm lacking words. So what's next for the Silver Arrows? Well, if you can remember what the team was saying at Bahrain regarding how 2023 could be a dull season, but actually they are P2 in the constructors, in a better position in terms of points than their rival Ferrari, compared to where they were 12 months back. But the competition might be much tighter next season, with McLaren entering the chasing group with stupendous in-season development, with the Woking-based squad having consistently the second fastest car for the second half of this season. They are itching their hands to develop next year's car to fight for race wins on a frequent manner. Wolff shared his insights on what Mercedes have on the cards for next season in terms of winter development. The Austrian went on to say, "It's a fundamentally different car next year, and today proves that this is the right thing to do. It confirms that the trajectory of changing fundamentally is right. Last year, we came out to an Interlagos weekend and absolutely pumped, demolishing your competition Saturday and Sunday. And that was like, are we continuing the right thing by continuing with the chassis that we have? And now it's really clear it's been so horrible for the whole team, and I wish we could start the new season and concentrate on the new car." The car is one thing. There are issues outside of that for Mercedes to solve first, just like the leakage of technical staff, the likes of Mike Elliott and James Vowles. This is something that Mercedes should first fix, and then assemble a team around James Allison to develop next year's Mercedes car, as there are at least 2 teams threatening to be the second fastest or even the fastest car come 2024. So what do you guys think? With the Las Vegas circuit having its own problems like sizzling temperatures, what are your expectations from Mercedes at the Party City? How much can Mercedes fix for 2024, starting from now onwards? Very much into your thoughts and perspectives in the comments section down below. And on your way down, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get notified of our future uploads to keep yourselves up to date about the 2023 Formula One season.